Welcome back to Making the Madness on YouTube. Today we are talking about the NEC. It is a league, not usually the best leagues, but it's always fun, and it's certainly going to be, I think, very interesting this year. You kind of have a new format where it's just going to be a four-team race for the title. Wagner, Bryant, Sacred Heart, and Mount St. Mary's are all going to compete, and one of them is going to the NCAA tournament. The seed's still to be determined, but it should be a fun little tournament here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last year's champion of the NEC tournament, because that one concluded before the season got canceled because of COVID, was Robert Morris, and now they're in the Horizon League. So there's no chance for last year's reigning champion to reclaim their crown. And last year's regular season champion was Merrimack, who's ineligible for the NCAA tournament, and they can't even play in the postseason because of the ridiculous transition rules. So that is what that is, but I hate the transition rule for sure.
Yeah, which this year wouldn't have probably made a difference because they still finished fifth in the league behind Sacred Heart, behind Mount St. Mary's. So I guess not the free Merrimack rule this year. It's free someone else, but yeah, the transition rule once again, I think, kind of like one of those rules. I kind of get why it's in there, but at the same point, it's also kind of useless. So I'm all on board the get rid of the transition rule. Uh, just meaningless. But last we have four teams competing for the Northeast Conference Championship game and a bid to the NCAA tournament, which is obviously huge for one of these teams who will get it, do or die. All the pressure that comes with it in a one big league is right there, and it's going to be a very fun watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into the bracket.
All right, so the first game that will be taking place is the 2-seed Bryant versus 3-seeded Sacred Heart. I like Bryant. Jared Grosso is, I think, a very, very good coach. They have Peter Kiss, the former Rutgers player who has come to Bryant and is very good. Michael Green, the third, has really emerged as a secondary scorer. They have in total 5 guys who all average 10 or more points per game. This is one of the more electric offenses in college basketball, not just the NEC. I can't pick against this Bryant team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love this Bryant team. I wrote something about them probably in mid-December because I had high hopes for this team coming in. I spoke with Jared Grosso. I interviewed him in the offseason. It was, I think, right after they lost Benson Lynn, who opted to go pro after his freshman season overseas. And so, things were looking interesting. They lost Adam Grant, an all-time great in the program, and things were just in a transition period. But Coach Grosso was super encouraged by the way some of their transfers were going to get acclimated into the program, like Peter Kiss, who, he's on his third school. He started at Quinnipiac, now Rutgers, and then Bryant. But, yeah, I love this Bryant team. Chris Childs, the Indian Hills Community College JUCO product, one of the best shooters in college basketball, shot just about 40% in the regular season. And Charles Pride really emerged to become, more than just a glue guy, but a guy who can really get buckets when the opportunity presents itself. And Hall Elijah's, he had a fantastic season, one of the best shot blockers in the country.
Yeah. With Bryant, we need them to get to the NCAA tournament and get Bill Raftery on the call. Let's say they're playing Gonzaga or someone like that, and Bill Raftery's on the call, and Peter Kiss banks one off the window, and he's like, "With the kiss!" That's one of his better calls. So we need for that selfishly, just for that, cheering for Bryant.
I'm in on that. And, Peter Kiss, if I had a vote for NEC Player of the Year, he would have gotten it. I feel like he kind of got robbed, but, that's neither here nor there, I guess.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the number 1 seed is the Wagner They are, a really solid team. They went 13-5 in league play. Uh, they had more losses than second seed Bryant, but really it was kind of those two teams, and they finished with an overall better winning percentage. So in turn, they do get the number one seed in the tournament. Now they did play Bryant twice. They lost both those games. Tough to beat a team three times, but Wagner I think is the team I would at least go for in this game. Elijah Ford is certainly a really good player, and then Alex Morales as well. You have a really good 1-2 punch with those two players. Martinez and Hunt are some good secondary options. I just think Wagner's the smart pick, especially playing at home. Now Mount St. Mary's always tough in this tournament. I just like Wagner here.
Yeah, I'm with you. Wagner, they're a very good team. Alex Morales won Conference Player of the Year. He had a pretty good year. Delani Hunt was Freshman of the Year. He's going to be a rising star in the NEC. And Bashir Mason was the Coach of the Year in the NEC. They pretty much cleaned up in the awards department. So I'm with you. I'm going to go with Wagner to win this one.
All right. That sets us both up with Bryant versus Wagner for the championship. And yeah, I like Bryant here. I just, Jared Grasso is a really, really good coach. You can't underrate him. But, with Peter Kiss, with this, outstanding scoring lineup that they have, they've beat Wagner already twice. I think they end up doing it the third time. So give me Bryant to win the league championship.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Bryant Bulldogs will make their first ever NCAA tournament because they were a Division II school until I think they became Division One. Somewhere around there, they became Division One. But yeah, I agree with you. Bryant is going to make the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history, and they'll probably be, maybe a 16 seed in the first four, maybe just a regular 16, maybe a 15. Any of those, though, I mean, if they're playing, the one seeds this year are going to be so good, it'll be tough. But if they're playing like, the worst one seed, which is going to be Illinois, maybe they give them a run because I think this team can compete.
Yeah, most definitely. It should be a fun tournament. It's not going to get the high attention that I think a lot of other league tournaments get, but the NEC, I think it's always like the Tuesday championship game. And it's usually pretty fun. So look for that. I think we both have Bryant going to the championship game with only four teams left. Any of these four teams can win. It's just about getting hot at the right time. We are predicting Bryant, but certainly nothing to take away from Sacred Heart, Mount St. Mary's, and Wagner, because all of those teams have a chance. All right, that will wrap it up for this edition. We'll be back with some more conference previews. Stay tuned.